If you guys do need any grinding services done that are fast and reliable, hit up my guy Cliff2_3 on Twitter. Domination Reward, James Harden, MyTEAM Unlimited, Grant Hill, Clutch Time, Chris Webber, or even endgame point guard Jokic. Again, hit up Cliff2_3 on Twitter. It is good, yo. It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and ranking some of the top shooting guards today in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. Now, we got S tier through F tier. So I am going to add, that F tier because I like talking about players that are just kind of garbage men for today's game. Gonna try to, I think I got, 45 or so players on this list. And if you got 6 tiers, you guys do the math, maybe 7 or 8 players per tier is what our aim is going to be. Not that top tier, probably only going to have 5 and maybe, 7 or 8 at the rest of the tiers. Now, before we dive any further into this video, guys, if you are new to the channel, man, make sure to smash that subscribe button as we're on the road towards 110,000 subscribers. We're going to start it off with AJ Griffin. And since we don't have too many players, guys, I am going to go and look, at each and every one, not every one of them, but some of these cards on 2K database and see what these cards end up doing. Now, obviously, Dikembe Mutombo is in my way right now, but here's what AJ Griffin looks like. He's basically Richard Jefferson, and so I'm going to rank Richard Jefferson right with these guys. I feel like AJ is the better overall card, but I do like what Richard Jefferson provides as well. So, when we go to this, I'm going to, again, this is the best of the best, and because of that, I'm going to put both of them at C tier. I've used Richard Jefferson quite a bit on my No Money Spent, and he still, to this day, is one of my favorite shooting guards in the entire game. I'm a big fan of what both of these cards can give you. Now, obviously, AJ Griffin does have a better player model, maybe gives you a little bit more, but because RJ does have, that longer wingspan, a little bit taller, I do have them both in here at C tier. I know you guys aren't going to like it. Both of those cards are better than Anthony Edwards. And I'm sorry if you guys grinded for Anthony Edwards. I'm a Timberwolves fan. I wish I could put this card higher. I can't. Jump shot 80. He's not better than AJ Griffin. I'm sorry. Debate a wall. He's not better than AJ Griffin. And if he was, I would be honest with you because I do like Anthony Edwards in real life. So I have no reason to put him at D tier if he's not actually a D tier player. Bracket Busters, Carmelo Anthony right in C tier as well. I think he's, right on that level of a guy like Richard Jefferson. I just do not love the Carmelo Anthony base. If I liked his release a little bit more, he will be that a little bit higher for me. The problem is I just do not like that release. Now, Endgame Melo, definitely an S tier shooting guard. Before some of the newer shooting guards came out, Melo was my favorite shooting guard to run in the entire game. And I think that says a lot about the card, right? Because is the card perfect? Nearly perfect. The one thing I will say is there's not much bad to say. I was going to try to maybe make a negative comment. Maybe his wingspan's not as good as you want, but there's really nothing negative you can even say about Carmelo Anthony. Cedric Maxwell for today's game is D tier. I still think Cedric Maxwell, if you ask me who I'd prefer running right now, Cedric Maxwell or Anthony Edwards, I probably would take Cedric Maxwell. And that's crazy to say for where we're at in my team, but that's just my truth. He's taller, does a little bit more, has a good release, and I hate to break it to you, but I like Cedric Maxwell more than that, and maybe Cedric Maxwell does deserve C tier. I'm going to put him there right now because I do think he is better than Anthony Edwards side by side. DeMar DeRozan up next. Now, DeMar DeRozan is an interesting one because I think he's undervalued. Now, with that being said, is he better than an AJ Griffin? I don't know. What I might do is I might do this for right now because I feel like this is a little bit more well balanced. I just feel like DeMar DeRozan gives you more than Carmelo Anthony. As far as just a 3-and-D player, you guys can disagree, but he's got a way better release. He's a mini Tracy McGrady in a way, right? Tmac obviously is a way better player model, but offensively, they are going to be eerily similar. Dominic Wilkins, I also think, is underrated. Now, because of how hard he is to obtain, I'm not going to, sit here and gas the card, but jump shot 8 on very quick's a good release. Good dribble 6, perfect dribble 6. Perfect card in general. I'm going to throw Dominic Wilkins into A tier. And you guys don't have to agree with me if you don't think he is A tier, but if you have him any lower than A tier, I want to know why, because I am a pretty big fan of what Dominic Wilkins does possess. Elgin Baylor is another one of those cards that if you have him, he's fine. He's not bad. But I just don't know if I can sit here and gas the card. Jump shot 38 on very quick is a fine release. Not great dribble 6 though. I think he does belong in C tier, right? With Carmelo Anthony and Cedric Maxwell. Now, a lot of people are going to say, okay, Ty, is Elgin Baylor better than Anthony Edwards? Well, I don't know if I can honestly answer that question. Who do you prefer animation-wise? Maybe I'm going to move Elgin Baylor down. I just, after really looking at it a little deeper, I don't know if he gives you that little bit more. Giannis at the shooting guard position, I'm not that high on. Now, I'm ranking players at their shooting guard position. Now, Giannis' small forward, I think, is better than nearly everybody on this list. But at the shooting guard position, I'm just not that high on him. Throwing him into C tier. He just lacks that little bit. Grant Hill. Is he great? No. Is he really good? Yes. I mean, he's right there with Dominic Wilkins. They're both going to move well. They're both going to give you a lot. I just don't love the jump shot 1 release. It's fine, right? I want you guys to hear me. The jump shot 1 release is fine. It's basically end game in my team. And Grant Hill doesn't have that next level good release. It's not bad. It's just not next level good. Jimmy Butler. I got to put him right in here with Anthony Edwards and Elgin Baylor. Here's the thing with Jimmy Butler. The card is not bad. His release is mid, very mid. Jump shot 22 on very quick is mid. Shifty dribble style is mid. He does have a better, player model than Elgin Baylor, but he's not better than Cedric Maxwell, Carmelo Anthony, or Giannis out of position. I'm sorry. That's just the truth behind it. Joe Johnson does belong at that C tier, right, with Carmelo and Cedric Maxwell. Joe Johnson gives you quite a bit on the court. I remember everybody liked the pink diamond Joe Johnson. The problem was his stamina. This Joe Johnson is better than Elgin Baylor. And I don't care what people say. People are going to say Elgin Baylor is better. And maybe Joe Johnson deserves to go down, or maybe Elgin Baylor deserves to go up. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think, the cards are really similar. But my whole thing is Elgin doesn't move as well as Joe Johnson. I mean, look at Elgin's dribble 6. I'm sorry. No. This is how it's gonna be to stay for our current time. Hondo is going to be D tier just because of how good he is on current gen. If you want a shooting guard that can move and groove with a cheesy release on current gen, Hondo is your guy. I'm pretty sure him and Danny Ferry, as you see right there, are the only players right now with 98 on very quick. And that's something that's important and should be taken into consideration, because everything else about Hondo outside of his standing dunk, which on current gen doesn't matter quite as much, is honestly perfect. He belongs at D tier. Up next here we do see Invincible Jr Smith, and I'm a pretty big fan of Jr Smith. I'm gonna throw him in. I gotta throw him at A tier. I mean, here's the deal. I like jump shot 49 nearly just as much as the jump shot 3 of the end game card, and I feel like Jr Smith does give you a lot on the court. Now, obviously, I like Jr more at that point guard position, but if you're asking me if I'd rather have Jr Smith, Richard Jefferson, DeMar DeRozan, AJ Griffin, I'm taking Invincible Jr Smith every day of the week. Dr. J, it's a tough one. I gotta throw him at A tier, because again, is Dr. J better than AJ Griffin? I think so. Is he better than DeMar DeRozan? I'm thinking so. Although I don't love Dr. J, and we might have to move some players down, when I just think the shooting guard list in general is not great. And that's my firm opinion. Endgame Kawhi, S tier. Invincible Kawhi, S tier. You know what I'm about to do? It's hard because, I mean, it's really difficult. Because I don't even think Endgame Kawhi is as good as Invincible Kawhi, but I do both think they're S tier. But because of that, I'm going to move them down, and I'm just going to move some players down in general. So let's get somebody in F tier, because somebody's got to go in F tier, and I'm just going to throw Ray Allen. Even with the, oh my God, even with the boost, is Ray Allen really F tier? I don't necessarily know. Do we've got anybody that is F tier? OG maybe? I mean, OG, is he better than Jimmy? Maybe. I don't even know if we have anybody in F tier. I'm trying to figure out who the worst player on this list is, and I don't know exactly who it is. I'm going to throw Ray Allen in F tier. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to move some people down. Joe Johnson getting moved down. Going to move every player from B down. And I'm going to move every player from A down, because I really only think Kawhi Leonard is the only A tier player. Maybe Jr Smith at there as well. But I like this more. A tier should be more of the elite type of players. Mystic Kawhi, I'm going to throw an A tier as well. Mystic Kawhi is nearly as good as Invincible Kawhi. I mean, you could argue this one's better because I think he does have the better dribble sigs as well. But even the point guard, shooting guard Invincible Kawhi would be at S tier. So that's where I'm at as far as that is as far as that is concerned. KD, endgame card, S tier. These KDs, A tier, but at the top of A tier. And you know, that's why I wanted A tier to get to be the elite of the elite, is because, you know, KD is way better than a guy like Julius Erving, than a guy like Grant Hill. These KDs are. And so that's why I did want to make the changes I did. Chris Middleton is not very good. Throwing him in D tier. I love Chris Middleton with everything I have. I love him with my entire heart, but D tier is about as high as I can go with Cash Money Chris Middleton. Klay Thompson up next. I'm going to go C tier. I like every player at B tier more than Klay. Part of the problem for Klay Thompson is he's only 6'6", and his release is not great. Dr. J Smith, they're better than Klay because they just simply have that little better release. Kobe Bryant, I like him more than Klay, and you guys can hate me for saying that, but his release is so much better than Klay Thompson's, and that's why I do have Kobe Bryant at B tier. I know I might get a lot of hate for that, but I do prefer Kobe Bryant to Klay Thompson. Kyle Korver for this stage of my team, I gotta go C tier. I don't think he's D tier. I think he's better than everybody at D tier. Just don't think Korver is as good. I'm gonna put him in D tier. I don't think he's as good as these guys at C tier. I really don't for today's game. Invincible Braun, because of what he provides you on defense, I guess I gotta go C tier. This Braun, I guess I gotta go C tier as well. I don't love LeBron James, but he is a 6'9" small forward that's gonna defend at a high level. Very similar to what this Giannis is gonna give you at the shooting guard position. Not very high on him. I definitely would prefer him at that small forward position. Malik Sealy for today's game, D tier. I mean, I like Malik Sealy. I had him on my no money spent for a while, but he just wasn't quite as good ever as a guy like Richard Jefferson. Michael Finley, I think I'm going to go D tier as well. Look, if you're a really good dribbler, Michael Finley is fine. You can argue him at C tier, and a lot of people will argue Michael Finley as being that great. And maybe I'm going to put him at C tier, but I don't love Michael Finley. His release is not great. His movement is great, I get that, but just feel like there's a lot more people that are going to give a lot more than Michael Finley has. Now to our Michael Jordans. Now, here's the deal. Endgame Michael Jordan with set shot 25 is A tier. This 75th Michael Jordan, A tier. This Invincible Michael Jordan, S tier. That's where I got the S tiers. If you want this Michael Jordan to be S tier too, that's fine. I just don't think he quite is there. Plus, you got MJ at point guard as well. It's tough to really rank Michael Jordans. All I'm making the case for is that Invincible shooting guard Michael is better than endgame Michael Jordan. As long as you agree with that, yeah, I don't really care what else you do. Yao Ming out of position. Look, if you want to play Yao Ming at the shooting guard position, I guess I'll put him at C tier. I just have a hard time seeing Yao at the shooting guard. Taco at the shooting guard, I guess I'll go B tier. I don't really like running tall players at my guards or that taller players at my guards. But I mean, is Taco going to give you more than a guy like Giannis? The answer is yes. Out of position, Swiss Pascal Siakam, he's not very good. Talk about an absolute letdown in my team. It is out of position Pascal Siakam. An absolute letdown in my team. That's just, his release is not great. He just doesn't give you a lot on the court, and neither does OG Anunoby. Is OG Anunoby D tier? Yes. But that's all the higher you can go. If you chose him over Boban, you got a fine shooting guard in my team. But simply put, he is not that next level good in my team. Paul George here, I'm going to go B tier. Invincible PG is fine. I just don't love his release. His movement is very mediocre, very mid. But he is 6'9" at that shooting guard position. And he's going to move and play just a lot better than a guy like LeBron James. Reggie Lewis is actually pretty solid. I'm putting Reggie Lewis in C tier, right, with guys like DeMar DeRozan, AJ Griffin. If you want to put Reggie Lewis in B tier, I don't have a problem with it. I personally just don't love his release. That is why Reggie Lewis is not any higher. A card who is going to be high is Rudy. And Rudy is really good. He is an A tier caliber player. Now, do I prefer KD? Do I prefer Tmac? Do I prefer those types of guys? Yes. But Rudy is absolutely fantastic. An easy A tier addition. Scottie Pippen is also fantastic, and I'm throwing him in A tier. No Scottie Pippen slander is tolerated on the TyDeBo channel. I'm not tolerating it. I love Scottie Pippen. I love what Scottie Pippen can do for you guys as well. An easy addition into A tier. A no-brainer. Next up, guys, Invincible Tmac. Another easy addition into A tier. I mean, what more needs to be said? Invincible Tmac definitely belongs in A tier. And so does Supernova Tmac. I mean, these types of Tmacs definitely belong in that A tier of caliber. Endgame Tmac is better, though. I'm not going to sit here and... I like Tmac. But Tmac with set shot 25, I think, does it, in my opinion, that little bit more than the Invincible Tmac. He gives you just that little bit more on both ends of the court. And so do I have my top 5 at S tier? I think I do. Because Vince Carter is definitely not going to be S tier. Vince Carter is a C tier caliber shooting guard. Back in the day, guys, I love Vince Carter. It's just the times have changed. At max, he is a C tier caliber player. So guys, I got through this list pretty quickly. I know we got a lot of players in a C tier, but I kind of like the way this list is. Now, a lot of people are going to argue that Taco should be A tier, Yao should be higher, maybe some of these other guys. And I want to know what your argument would be. Leave that down below in the comments. Tell me which of these guys you would have higher on the list, which of these guys you ultimately would have lower. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.